There's a war going on inside. Just to name a couple, I battle with porn and pride. In a persistent struggle, a reoccurring huddle, a prayer meeting with me and the Holy Spirit.
I'm just talking about who you are. The Angry Men that we used to do. Right Hand Men and Productions.
Facts.
But most importantly, Oliver and I, there is this. We can bounce off each other easily. There's no one in podcasting, I think, that I have better rapport with. That's also really funny. So, and now he's doing his own thing as well. So,
thanks. Great intro.
Yeah,
I have nothing more to say.
I mean, I reference back to Thuringer Men. If you want to get to know Oliver's humor, then you can go back to the clips and the show that's still going on.
Three Angry Men. No, it's great. We're unfiltered. That's what it is.
Exactly.
We're comfortable with each other. We're unfiltered. We can just be honest.
Yeah.
About all the bullshit that's going on.
Yeah, I do want to say like this.
And there's a lot of it.
There's a lot of bullshit.
There's a lot of it going on.
But I mean, the thing is, I've filtered myself a little bit more now because of the kinds of guests that are coming on and stuff. Although, I think the new show, so this is going to be a new segment, a new thing we're going to drop every once in a while, especially on weeks there is no guest, because lately it's been only guests, which I love.
You let me know when I go too far. You reel me back in.
Yeah, sure. Because we can go. Well, it's always the case where when we're out, we're really unfiltered, and that's with everybody, I guess. Now, we tone it down a bit when it's a public platform. Sometimes we got to look around our backs, when we're out eating and talking that shit.
Of course. The waitress always comes along when you make the dick joke or something.
The waitress always pops her head back. And so look, the Netherlands, you don't expect much. In the Netherlands, service is definitely not even on the top priority of top 10 priorities when it comes to gastronomy or restaurants, right? No. Which should be number 1 or number 2 at least. But sometimes, whenever we're on these topics, I think they're really, when we're really talking our shit, really being, what do you say, vulgar? I don't like to call it vulgar. We're being honest.
Vulgar.
We're being honest.
Explicit.
Yeah, explicit, perhaps, where you got to be a little bit more candid. We're doing it in a public place. That's when the service is at its best. That's when the waitress pops up every 2 minutes.
That's what she keeps out, yeah.
And comes in at the moment that you would say.
Time.
Yeah. It's the worst moments. And then Tinder as well. When you're right on Tinder and talking shit about this woman that you never Tinder has this tendency.
Okay.
And I don't know if anyone has had this or who uses Tinder or any dating app for that matter, that they match you with people that you've never swiped right on.
Oh no, that's the hacks. That's the hacks.
Bro,
all of a sudden there's some girl in there that you're like, I didn't swipe right on you.
I did not swipe right on you. It's a way for them, I feel. And now we're getting into, I'm not trying to be Alex Jones, although this isn't chemtrail thing. That Tinder gives people that have absolutely no hope. Still throws them at people just in case you match with that one dude who doesn't give a fuck.
Oh no, well that's facts. No, but that's not a conspiracy. That's just how it works. No, but seriously, because think about it. These platforms, right? Take something like Facebook is similar to, but these platforms. If you take Tinder, the more matches you get, the more you're going to use it. If you never get matches, you're never going to use it. They make money off of you using it because they show you ads, so they want you to use it.
Yeah.
So if you're never getting matches, they'll just make up some matches to give you that little bit of hope, like you're saying, to keep using it and to keep swiping, so they can keep showing you ads. That's not a conspiracy. That's just business.
Right.
That's just marketing strategy.
But you think that they match you with bots, just an account that never replies. Most men out there don't reply anyway. But so you wouldn't know the difference a lot of the time.
I think they. I don't think. I know for a fact that they know when a profile is inactive. So they know when you're. They know when you're not swiping, when someone is swiping.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what they'll do is probably match you with profiles that are inactive, so that you match with that person, but they don't know and it doesn't matter. Because if they match you with someone who's active, but they didn't swipe right on you, it's the first question is bitch, I didn't swipe right on you. Who the fuck are you?
But now I'm active. Now Corona times I'm active. I still get, although it's hard because there's a lot of during Corona times there's just a lot of matches and a lot of people, everyone is on there. So I guess they just get mixed within the whole bunch. and I wouldn't know. But like now, I just match with. Also, don't lie about your age, women. Like, don't lie about your age because we're gonna know. Especially from this picture, someone is 29, looking like. I would say at least 45. At least 45.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you a screenshot later. Man. I won't like put her on blast.
I seen one too. Well, hey, send it. No, hold on. Send it. I'm on WhatsApp. Send it.
Let me just do this.
No, because
Because I'm using. My
because I'm using.
For you.
Well, I'm using WhatsApp Web.
Uh-huh.
You need to get with the times,
but I
my
need
guy.
to. No, but I need to screenshot it off my phone. Oh yeah, I unmatched. That's true. I unmatched her. Game.
But it's like.
I wish I. Fuck.
Who told you you were? Who told you were 25? Like sometimes I see these profiles. I'm like, I don't know who taught you math, but
yeah, like but when do you gain consciousness when you're a kid? When are you like? When does your memory really start?
6.
Because maybe by the time you're 5 years old, and you won't have a memory of it. Your parents have been lying to you, like, hey, you were born yesterday, So you think exactly. You got like 5 years, and you're 5 years younger, but really you're not. And anyway,
see this, man. I'm browsing. We're just shooting the shit right now. I'm browsing the list of topics.
Oh, we got some saucy topics today.
Yeah, I'm going through some of it a little bit. I get myself okay. Which included. Oh man, this dude needs help.
So you talk about Kanye West.
Yeah, well, that's at the top of it. I saw. So
yeah, I think that deserves like some attention. At the same time, everybody's talking about it.
You wrote it down. You wrote it down as Kanye breakdown. So
the Kanye breakdown.
That's Kanye West.
Kanye West has been on a downward spiral, guys. And for people like me, who when you you go on Spotify Wrapped at the end of the year, and apparently Kanye West was still my number one most listened to artist. I don't know if they count. I don't think do they count the features? Do they count the stuff that he's also produced and not been in? I mean, most stuff he's produced, he's had a feature on at least one track, right? Or a couple.
A lot of tracks, yeah.
Like the Kid Cudi, Kid See Ghosts, Pusha T's. No, Pusha T he didn't, right? Did he have one on Pusha T? On Daytona?
No, Daytona he didn't have feature. He produced the whole thing.
He produced it. I don't know if Daytona.
He produced the whole. Like he executive produced and just musically produced the whole album. That is fact.
Yeah, but so I don't know if they take that into account when they say like the most listened to artist. Anyway, Kanye was number one for me still, which is surprising considering the two of the most recent projects I hate. But then again, I don't hate all of it. There's a couple of good things on there, but I generally hate them. But
his recent projects?
Yeah.
You mean
not Ye? I quite like Ye, and I'm not talking about the gospel album. I actually haven't listened to that much. Only once, just to review.
It's awful. It's awful. You haven't heard the gospel album?
No, I heard it, but I don't listen to it. I said like I heard it the one time just to
yeah.
Well, I actually thought there was like two songs.
I'll give my opinion. It's trash. That's mine.
That's your opinion.
That's it right
trash.
There. It's what? I listened to it.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to the whole thing. It's like, come on, man. It's just like he does this thing where he produces like a half beat. So he'll do it. It'll start with an incredible production, but then suddenly somewhere in the middle of the song it switches to something else, and then that doesn't match with what you had before. And then the song is only like 2 minutes, 1 minute and 30 seconds. He had these weird little snippets. It was just a strange thing. I don't know what he was trying to do with that.
Bro, there was a couple of...
But, you know.
What I remember is when I reviewed it is me saying something like one of the songs or the first two or something were unnecessary. It just didn't belong there. And I don't know what you're trying to do because it's so much different than the rest of the album. And then there was one in there that's just a choir singing. There was nothing around it, no production, nothing. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Or am I misremembering? I don't know. But anyway, so he's losing his mind. So yeah, where I was going with this is now, because I lost my train of thought. I care about him. I care about him. At first, it was fun, honestly, to see the decline. Not the decline. I thought, like, is this a gimmick? Is he really like this? I mean, he's outright said he has bipolar, and he has bipolar now, right? Even then, you're like, someone is gonna jump in and help him anyway. Let's enjoy it while it lasts. This is like you were laughing at it
no,
first.
But I heard what the thing is that he goes on and off his meds, and right now this is one of those periods where he's off of it. That's what I've understood. That's what I've been told.
Oh, he's off of it. And look, I'm someone who I think if something like that would happen to me, I'd be anti-meds as well. I mean, in general, I'm not really into meds. It takes a lot for me to take even a paracetamol or something when I have a headache.
I hear that.
It has to be severe. And I heard that, for example, the lithium, which is what they would prescribe in this case, and I'm not a doctor, but that's what, I keep reading about bipolar and depression. That just numbs you and turns you into a whole other person. It would suck the creativity out of you, suck the work ethic, everything he has out of him. And just as a normal human, I wouldn't even not a normal human. I'm saying like someone who's not on that genius level. normal human. Just as us as mortals, I wouldn't recommend that. It's just bad. Apparently, it kills you slowly, and you're just not having fun anymore. But okay, it keeps you in control. I get that, but some kind of therapy, maybe.
For some people, that's I think the theory, because I don't know what the experience is like. But I think the theory is that for some people, that's the best they can do, because otherwise they would be really self-destructive, as in they might harm themselves or others around them. So it's like they have to be. This is the best we can do. It numbs them all the way down, but at least they don't go on a rampage and hurt someone they love and then regret it later. I think that's the idea behind it. But they're out here prescribing the shit to people, who just, having a bad day. They're just giving the shit to everyone nowadays.
Bro,
I'm not saying that. No, because those issues are real. They are real. But there is evidence, a lot of evidence that shows that doctors are quick to give out, medication, because that's what they make money off of. Pharmaceutical companies, the conspiracy.
Yeah. The conspiracy that people say it's just a conspiracy, but I'm like, so much of it isn't really a conspiracy anymore. So much of it.
No, it's not really. It's not. No, it's not a conspiracy at all. It's called.
Why are there brands? Why does medicine have brands? Goddamn it! Like once you put brands in the thing, once there's brands involved, that's when you create competition. That's when you create.
There's competition.
A fight for the money. Why
do you think we still don't have a vaccine for this coronavirus?
Well, yeah.
Let's talk about it. That's part of it, though. That's part of it. Well, you have fucking like 100 different companies, all doing their own research separately from each other, and they're all trying to gain. Every country also is trying to buy it up before other countries do. You remember that when America bought antibodies out of the Netherlands?
Yeah,
that happened. They bought antibodies up out of the Netherlands because they wanted to have them. So it's made here, but they own it because they bought it. How does that make sense if you think about it? But if you think about it as a business, then it does make sense. If you think about it as a business, then it makes complete sense.
Yeah, it does make sense as a business. And that doesn't make sense is that like...
Yeah, but it's about people's lives.
The fact that exactly is getting people killed is what we need. Because it's one thing to think about it like archaeology, where you excavate a mummy, and it's like, oh, that belongs to the land it came from. Nah, we'll just buy it and put it in this museum, profit off it. That's different. Because nobody dies, missing that mummy. Unless the mummy curses are real. Yeah. That's the thing.
No, that's... But this is...
And you'd be crazy to think that the fact that this is a business, there is no foul play going on in the sense of them sabotaging each other, slowing each other down, the competitors down.
There's all types of foul play going on. Honestly, they don't really try very hard to hide it. There have been huge scandals in the pharmaceutical industry several times. Like they don't really. It's not a secret at all. We just choose not to look at it, but you can just Google it. It's first page Google. It's right there. It's not even like.
It isn't.
I've watched documentaries. Yeah, I've watched documentaries on it and stuff like that. So no, I'm saying, I'm totally with you. I don't. For me, meds. I mean, unless I start dropping to the floor, I'm not taking nothing.
No.
Well,
Those meds will let you
I'm
make you drop
shit.
to the floor. I hear.
That's the thing. I've taken meds so many times that made me feel 10 times worse. I had a cold. They said, okay, go take this cough mixture. Now my whole body feels. Then I got fever.
Then you got fever.
I was fine. I didn't
The
have a
feeling
fever
when
before that.
you-
It was just like a cough. And I take the medication. Now I have a fever. What the fuck is this?
They're like, oh yeah, the fever raises the temperature and takes your cough away because then you kill the bacteria in your body. Or the
Yeah, but
virus.
now I'm sick.
Yeah, now I'm sick.
Idiot.
Like, yeah, you got it. You had to get sick. You know?
So then I was sick for several days, man. I was fine before that. No, it's.
It goes into the whole
choice.
choice of what do you want to be sick in this way or do you want to be sick in the other way? And one is you just weigh pros and cons, and it's like, oh, I'll take the side effects because probably. But on the other hand, I think this is it's like we're in the middle we're in between a publicity stunt and real mental breakdown unfolding. Because first of all, I think this is a publicity stunt. Kanye always does some crazy shit and puts himself out there like this right when an album is about to drop. Right?
Yeah,
He's dropping an album, right?
I'm reading.
What?
I'm going through it. I'm going through it because I didn't watch the campaign rally yet. I'll watch some clips in a second, but I'm going through this article that they wrote about it. Some stuff that he said. He's anti. He's still going this whole story about abortion. He's anti-abortion. Apparently, he says his dad wanted to abort him,
Yeah.
and it's because of his mom that he's alive because she was like, "Fuck that."
He owes her a lot. And he's naming his album after her.
Yeah, that I don't know. You think that album's coming? Donda, you think it's coming? I don't think
It's
it's
coming, but
man.
it's coming a few months after the release date. I mean, that's what's usually, who knows what's going to be on there.
I don't know.
I hope it's no like Oedipus syndrome kind of stuff.
But have you been following? Because let's go deeper into this. Because it is interesting. Have you been following the whole situation now with him and his family?
Yeah, not very closely, but I've been getting into today. You mean that? So he's been trying to
Kim
get a divorce.
Kardashian came out. Yeah.
Continue.
He's been He's been trying to get a divorce, and
She's trying to
that's
reel
not
him in.
working.
She thinks she's putting it down to some.
I think she wanted to. I think she wanted to do something. That's what I'm looking into now. I think she wanted to do something with the kids because I remember him saying like, "Oh, I had to save my daughter. She didn't want to let me save my daughter." The tweets is what I'm saying. And somewhere there, they had a discrepancy, I think, about the children, and that's just a highway to divorce. That's when.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've been considering divorce for a long time. I've been discussing a split some time before his latest string of controversial statements. He's been erratic, announcing 2020 presidential bid, bipolar disorder. Let's see.
I can put this on the screen.
Yeah, considering divorce. Now, the divorce had been in process for several weeks, is what I'm seeing here.
Oh no, no wait. Oh, this is cool about.
Okay, they really splitting. They're working on it now.
I had the feeling
They're
that she
splitting.
was trying to block that. Like she thinks, oh, you're just being crazy. You want a divorce, and he's like, no, actually, that's the real me. That's that's not the bipolar me talking. Maybe she's chucking it down to like it's just his phase. But is it real? Like it's really going down.
What I'm reading here is that they're really gonna split. It's just a matter of when and how.
Bro, he needs to get out of
They're
there.
they're legally married, but they're not even fuck with each other anymore. Apparently, is what I'm seeing. They need to move forward in terms of structuring.
Even my mom knows this stuff.
And healthy for the children.
That's crazy.
It's big
Even my mom,
news.
like I think secretly my mom is like watching Entertainment Today, ET, and stuff like that. Cause she always like when I mention something, I'm like, Did you hear? Do you know who Kanye West is? She's like, yeah. So Kim Kardashian, her mother did this and that. I was like, whoa, holy shit. you're in with the shit.
Whoa, shit.
Like, man,
She know more than you.
she know everything, but she's been stuck in this country now this is even before actually. So she actually does watch this stuff. I think she's very much aware of the Kardashians. She just hate watches stuff like that. I think. My mom's a hater, so yeah. So she's telling me like that family is no good. That family is no good. They destroy their men.
Yeah, but I mean, who saw this going well? Who? That's what I want to know. Who heard, Kanye and Kim are getting married and went, wow, well, that's just a great couple. That's going to work. Who thought that? Nobody thought. I don't know anybody who thought that this was going to work.
People who watch.
It was just a matter of when.
It's the Keeping Up with the Kardashians fans that love it. And those people are just in it for like, oh, this is more drama for us. More, more animals for us to look at in the zoo. Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because they forget, like, this family, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, has had cameras in their life for how many years now? Like 10, 12 years maybe? I don't know. So people see it as like, oh, this is our little spectacle, this is the stage, and this is a show that is being put on for us. You forget after such a long time that these are real people's lives. This is just people who have normal lives and they wake up in the morning, eat cereal, and go about their life and try to make money. They're not setting up this play for you. So all the drama that happens there is real. When someone dies, they died in real life. Someone gets drug addiction, they got drug addiction. And now they're like, they probably thought, oh, Kanye, great addition to the family, great addition to our little play. And they were probably excited about it.
When you make your private life a business, that's an interesting thing also in terms of reality TV in general. And I'm not trying to go off because we'll stay on topic, but I think it's interesting to think about the fact that if you make your private life a business, to what extent it's like your character is compromised. Like I don't know anything that's coming out of your mouth. Are you doing that for the show or are you doing that because it's really you? I can never really know the truth.
100%.
Because your life is a show. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's just like in any situation where someone is doing something for money, right? Mm-hmm. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. I mean, get to the bag. But their motivations are always compromised because there's money involved. This is what we were saying with the pharmaceuticals. It's the same thing we were just saying, right? It's a business,
You're going full
and
circle.
it's about making as much profit as possible. So is their efforts to really help people are compromised because they also have to make as much money as possible.
And compromises those with good intentions who actually do want to do the right thing as well, because everybody is placed under that one umbrella of exploitation. Can I trust what you're saying? So people who are genuinely trying to do good, or in this case, what would you say? If Kanye would genuinely, I don't know where I was going with this in terms of Kanye, but I mean, when it comes to these pharmaceuticals, it's like,
No, but I see. It's you heard what was going on with Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
It's a similar thing. They were being boycotted because of the hate speech on their platform.
Mm-hmm.
Why did they keep? Why did they keep allowing that? I mean, they did some stuff now, but there was a whole meeting, and it came out that apparently they were going to solve really nothing. Well, the facts show that type of speech is what drives the most engagement on Facebook.
For sure.
That's why they don't want to take that stuff down. Well, that's why they don't want to take it down. Why? Because that's what makes them money. As soon as money is in play, your moral, principles are compromised. Now, in the most situations, you can separate it because, that's business, but in your private life, you're you. But when your private life becomes your business, there's no separation. It's never separated. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm sure Mark Zuckerberg at home or with his buddies is just a regular cool dude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's an evil corporate, mastermind at work. But when he goes home, I'm sure he's fine. But Kim Kardashian is always doing this.
Yeah.
Reality stars are always doing this. They're always doing it.
And the Jenners,
so even your marriage,
have been born into this. More or less.
Yeah. Well, her previous marriage was the same thing with that basketball player. It was a similar thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was a similar thing.
This was her with
Chris Humphries.
Chris Humphries. Yeah.
That was the same thing. Get a little look out of it. They were married for what, like 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit wasn't even real. And then this one was her biggest play. Because Kanye is just a global superstar.
The legend has it that's Chris Humphries' best achievement. He's like, he fell off hard after that. Which it would
listen, man, Kardashian curse. Let's talk about it. They touch you is over, man.
Dude,
we haven't seen it go any other way.
Man,
when have we seen it go another way? Tell me. I haven't seen it.
Never.
I got nothing.
You know who? But if you dip and dip and leave, that's when you like get that little like genius. Like, cause there's always this thin line between creativity and madness, and genius and madness, right? If you're like you touch it and leave, that's when you get that genius. If you touch it a little bit too long, you're gonna go insane. Because I was saying, French Montana had a very very short thing with Chloe, and he he went on to drop even better things. But then at first he went to Africa, and at first he became a pilgrim or something like that. And then,
but wait, hold on. No, it was touch and go for a second. Let's be honest now.
It was.
I remember that. It was touch and go because he had the whole thing going on, and there was some issues already. He wasn't looking too good, but what he did is he went and visited like a voodoo doctor in Africa and just got the curse reversed or something. He took a whole, you see what I'm saying? A whole pilgrimage.
That the deal? You gotta touch and go, and then you go cleanse, and then you keep that little bit of,
went back to the basics.
Yeah.
But my thing with Kanye, I was talking to someone about it the other day. I said, "Yo, who are this guy?" When we look at these famous people, right? We don't know them personally, but we see people around them. We hear stories from them about their friends. Who are his friends? Like, does he even really have friends? Like,
that's
really?
Doubt. No real.
And I don't mean because I don't mean Pusha T and Big Sean. They're not your friends. No. That's their coworkers. I mean, like actual friends, like from back in your childhood or high school. Does he have those? And where are they? Because it doesn't look like he does. It doesn't look like he does.
Because it would show. No, it doesn't. No.
I mean, man, with Drake, I even fucking know their names. Chubbs is right there. You know what I mean? He's always intervening.
He takes care of these people. And they're there once in a while. You see them. Shooting out of the chains. No. Or you see them like it's those people you put on that. Because once you see someone in the pictures for too much and being mentioned way too much, and you start questioning that friendship too. If they're new friendships, because then you're like, is this guy really like? Because the celebrity himself, the subject in question, is
the subject in question.
The subject in question is never gonna. I don't think he's gonna tag you all the time. Like sometimes it's very obvious. Like they ask you, hey, give me the plug, give me the plug and mention me. Don't forget to mention me. I want those followers. I want the girls. They say it like that, right? But in reality, they don't want the girl. They want every kind of follower.
Man.
So I feel like that is always suspicious when you see the same people being mentioned way too much, being praised way too much in these photos. The real friends are the ones in the background.
Yeah, but where are those? When I look at him and how he's behaving, and this is so important. It sounds, I mean, we've heard it a million times, right? To the point where it's a cliche, but it's so important to have that home base, that support system as a person, as any type of person.
Yeah.
Good family relationship, real friends that you can count on, that you can talk to when some shit is going on, that you can go to hit that reset button. Yeah. When I look at people like this, everything about what is happening screams to me, you don't have that. That's what this looks like to me. Because if you, as my homie, is going off like this, you best believe I'm coming on the podium right at that campaign rally. I'm intervening. Yeah. I'm saying we need to stop this. We need to stop this right now. Your parents will come in, people come in, and the intervention. But this, I look at this. What is, or is it because he's so powerful, and now he just has his friends are now all yes men? Is that what's going on?
I think it's a combination. I mean, you think he'd have friends. I don't know if he had friends when he was. Maybe he was younger, I don't know. Loner and stuff like that. So, and he did pop off at a very young age. At least when he went to LA and started producing, you hear a lot of these people talk about. I know Jamie Foxx, I think, went on Joe Rogan way back in the day, and he told the story about meeting a very young Kanye, and he was already around that industry posse, producing for Pharrell, I believe, or working with Pharrell, and that's when he met him from a very young age. Maybe from a very young age, he's only been surrounded around industry people, because from a very young age, he was popping off, put himself in that space, and he's a genius. So people probably scouted him from a very long time, to the point that he never ever even made real friends. So,
I see what you're saying. It's very feasible. I mean,
it's
when
hard
I look
to make
at
friends
some,
when you're older, man. Like, it's
Yeah,
starting to
it's
see this
awkward.
now. Like now, you're probably like we're on a point where we're losing more than we're making friends. So it's very much about maintaining friendships and reaching out to people again and being in touch more. I feel, and especially Corona has sort of like really elevated that feeling.
it's important, man. It's important. I've always said to people, I'm not the type of guy who has a lot of friends. I don't want a lot of friends. I want good friends, like quality friends.
I want close circles.
Real good friends, and that's who I connect with. And I know that's it. That's all I need. But this is just, I mean, I know he doesn't have or at least I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a brother or sister. That also is telling. Mom's passed away and dad's not in the picture. So there's no family. There's no immediate family.
I'll tell you, this is when it started really going off the rails. And I mentioned this off the record the other day. Is that like when his mother passed? That's when it really went off. I think she was his base.
Of course. Well, yeah.
She was the reset button, man.
She
You're
was
right.
that. No, she was that. No, that's what I'm saying. No, she was that. As soon as she was out of the picture, that was completely gone. Now, of course, it's completely. It's very unfortunate what happened.
Yeah, he's a mama's boy too, and I don't mean that in any like negative like.
No.
I'm a
mama's
like
boy
I'm
too.
also yeah. It's like you love your mother a lot.
I proudly am.
Yeah, exactly. Italians pride themselves on that too. Like, when you think of a Italian's relationship with their mother.
Yeah.
So yeah, in that sense, I mean, he was that, and it left a huge hole, and it completely devastated him when she passed away, understandably so. But when you're dealing with bipolar, I can understand the impact would be a lot bigger than that, and I think
recovered.
Drawing from my own life experiences and my own mental health, it's like tough, very tough times like that. Like, and I've been in very, very tough situations before, and tough phases in my life where like having that base of friends and really understanding who your real friends are and family has gotten me so over that. Like the point that I came out a lot stronger and wouldn't be who I am, or even have the mental strength I have.
That's it, man. That's it. You know what I mean? I feel like, we also just live in an era where, we're all trying to pride ourselves and, I did it all on my own. I do everything by myself. I don't need anybody. That's bullshit. That makes no sense. It's not true. It's not healthy.
No, you can say it too, but like I feel that way sometimes. Like when I think of the business and ultimately every little small success that I make, I say like I did this by myself in the sense that I set up this company and I made the decisions that I made to end up being there. But that goes without saying that it wouldn't have happened without the lucky breaks, without having, for example, friends in high places, without having the friends that really wanted to push and help me and believe in me and help me everywhere they could. So that's what I would mean with I did it by myself.
Yeah, of course.
By yourself, nobody really does things by themselves.
No, but I'm even going into it more like just in personal life. The whole, I can cut. If you don't need you, I'll cut you off. Or you've probably seen those Instagram. Yeah, the Instagram, stories is like, if 2020 I'm cutting everyone off that I don't need, and it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, fam?
It's like, don't need to. You don't need to. My neighbor.
No, I'm saying, look,
didn't do shit to me. Why do I have to cut him off? Because he isn't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and of course, if there's toxic people in your life, you have to do that. But there's a sort of pride in it. It's more of an unfortunate thing. I'm not proud of it. It's more like, it's unfortunate, but I can't be around this guy anymore. It is what it is. I'm not looking for. No, I'm not looking for people to cut off. You're like, hey, you have one more chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't really, really cut off people. It's like naturally, you grow out of touch with people who are negative. Unless you're a negative person, though. If you want that negative energy around, some people thrive off negative energy.
Yeah,
like, people that want to feel very energetic on a Friday and want to get in a bar fight. There's people like that. Mm-hmm. I'd be remiss if I thought that I haven't, like, back in the day, had those thoughts. Sometimes you're out and you're really drunk. You're like, I want the wrong person to mess with me right now. because but there's people that look for that, that seek for that actively, and not just in terms of physical violence. I mean, just like, let's see what this asshole is doing today, and then just go bash what they're doing, or people that leave hate comments. People that leave hate comments are a big example of that. Those are the people that are probably friends with the people that you cut off.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the ones, man, because they attract each other. Just instead of...
I mean, I'm a strong believer that you attract what you are. If you have negative people in your life all the time, everyone runs into negative people once in a while. But if you constantly have that going on, you need to sit down and take a look at yourself. Because something about you is attracting these type of people.
Yes.
If you're on some bullshit, you can't hang around me for a long time. You won't like me. You're not going to like me because I'm just not about it. You know what I mean? Like, I know people who only want to come together, and every time they come together, they want to do gossip and bullshit talk, talking about other people, superficial shit. I won't even respond. I'll be very boring. See what I'm saying? Yeah. So, no, you attract what you are.
We also gossip about people. But not in it doesn't come from a place of malice. I think that's what makes the difference too.
No, I wouldn't say even what we do is gossip. I would say we have conversations about even this thing right now. We're talking about Kanye West, right? We don't know. We're talking about Kanye West, but we're looking at the situation and actually trying to, I mean, for me at least, trying to learn from it and think like, man, like how does this, and trying to see how does this happen? And you know, the man's 43. I'm 26, about to turn 27. I'm not there yet. I'm looking at this like, okay, so these are some of the things I should not do. I've said that so many times. Yeah, that's how, you see what I'm saying? That's how I look at stuff like this. Like I'm looking at, because I'm looking at, okay, so you don't have any family base. You married a woman where I'm just like, really, bro? That one? Like, why? Like, explain that to me. I don't understand it, right? So you have, and rappers, especially with rappers, I think I've told you this before, we've had this conversation before. You come out of the hood, or you come out of a situation where you're less fortunate, or not as, or at least you're middle class at best, right? You break through at a young age, doing what you love. You're super rich. You're traveling around the world. You have all these opportunities. And okay, so I'm gonna date an Instagram model. Okay, I'm gonna date a stripper.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to my neighborhood and date that one stripper.
That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me. Why wouldn't you want to be with like a businesswoman or a PhD graduate or a... That's how I think. Like,
how many examples? There aren't even that many examples that I can think of that have done it the right way.
Jay-Z? That's all I got for you. Jay-Z?
Yeah, but see, again, there it's like, he did marry someone from the same industry, who is on the same level. Like, it's hard to find people on Jay-Z's level to marry. Like, that's just a...
Yeah, but if you think about it, also just if you look at his career, her career, she's still an icon. She hasn't, you know what I mean? Like her trajectory is still consistent. So somewhere
she's way, yeah.
Well, you don't hear drama, you don't hear bullshit. So somewhere he made the right decision very early on. Like, no, this is the kind of woman I should be with. This is not, you know what I mean? This is gonna work. She's not gonna start a random reality show all of a sudden.
Or she addressed their issues on Lemonade too, though. On the album.
Yeah, but even with that, he also addressed the issues on 444. And even with that, the way they did that,
so they're each other's muse, like, through thick and thin.
But even in that, I was like, this is a very beautiful way to do that. Why? You're one of the most famous people in the world. This is gonna come out anyways. This is a very beautiful way to control that message and make it into art, which is also just very honest. Because I mean, if this is what you're going through, yeah, it's gonna be in your music. It wasn't a small thing they were going through. It was a serious issue. So
I'll give them that. They do use their problems to also teach, to educate people, because they like want to show the world, we are people in our position and in our status also have the same problems that you'll have in your relationships or marriages. Here's how we dealt with it, so you can get through it too, because we're in the public eye and you're not, so you should be able to deal with it easily. They put that in their music. Just like Jay-Z on the story of OJ also had like a huge teaching moment, and like they have a tendency to like sort of use their wisdom and years of experience, because when you're at that level of, you've been through 3 lifetimes of a normal civilian, you know, so you have a lot of knowledge to share, even at their age, because they're still considered young, right? But they have so much to share that people can learn from. And that's the way they put it. That's the way they put it forth in their music and their art.
No, but that's just something I don't. I mean, it's not my place. Let me make that very clear, because it's 2020. It's not my place to tell a woman how to behave and what to do with her body and so forth and so forth. You do whatever you want. None of my business. I understand that. But all right, again, you're Kanye West. You're one of the biggest music artists on earth. Especially back then. Because when he married her, he was at the peak of his career. That was peak Kanye West. We're talking. Yeah. And like this was you had no other options. Like I just don't get it. Like why does it have to be
marriage of someone?
The reality star who's had a previous marriage with all this drama around her all the time? Like why did that sound like a good idea to you when you're already going through all types of shit? When you already went through all types of shit with Amber Rose right before that, and you upgraded now to an Amber Rose on steroids. In terms of just public visibility and drama and relation, she knows everyone in your industry and everyone around you. Been with several of them dudes. That's just a recipe for disaster, isn't? I mean, am I
roll your life,
or am I just like some old school dude? Like, am I too?
No,
like I feel like the young kids think this shit is normal, but I'm like, I don't get it. I really don't get it
because it's around the time where Kim was also at her peak, and he thought like, oh, we can be a power couple. He's always thought of himself as either Jesus reincarnated or the president of the world. I think he's like, oh, if I marry her, she's the first lady of the world. That makes sense.
Power.
But then, trends come and go.
Must have been.
Things go a bit down, and he's like, oh, now I'm stuck in this situation where we're not really the most powerful people in the world anymore. Even though he is the billionaire now.
I mean, you got a madman with $1 billion walking around, and that's my next thing. But we don't have to go into this. But I don't know if you caught any wind of the Free Britney situation.
Yes, slight wind. What I know is, if you can explain it, if you know everything.
Well, in broad lines, it comes down to the fact that long ago when she was having that breakdown, parents, her father declared her mentally ill. And they basically seized all, ownership of her assets, finances, and put her in a position where she can't even move freely, right? So she can't even leave the house or go. She can't go travel or something whenever she wants because she's legally an insane person. So she has to be overseen, kind of like a child. No, see, that's a real thing. It's like if that's a real thing, though, right?
So this is what would happen. This is what happens in America.
Yeah, so that's why there's a whole movement now, because I think something happened again where she tried to do something, she tried to leave the house or something, and they arrested her. Police arrested her. She was recently arrested by the police for doing something that a normal human being should be allowed to do. Why? Because she's Britney Spears and she's not mentally stable, so she should be at home. So now there's this whole Free Britney movement going on. Where am I going with this? I'm looking at Kanye. I'm looking like, man, it's a matter of time. I think that woman is gonna. I think they're gonna have him committed and take his money.
Do you think that Kris Jenner has some sort of clause and ownership over some of his intellectual property and some of his life, in a sense? Because if he's appeared on the show, that should mean that he is in a contract somewhere with her. You know her way of finessing her way into things. Do you think that there is a scheme? I mean, for someone who raised a child to be a reality star and model and the self-proclaimed billionaire, right? I wouldn't put it past her to do this to a stranger.
Absolutely not. I mean, the legal details of how exactly she would get away with that type of witchcraft, I don't know. But I mean, if anyone can figure out, it's Kris Jenner. Shit.
She's a genius. She scares the shit out of me, man. Not in a, just like in a, she would intimidate me, man. She knows what she's doing. I'd be like talking to her, everything. I don't want to say the wrong thing so that, like, somewhere there's going to be like a subpoena one day. Like, hey, you know, you signed that Microsoft update. You didn't read the terms of services. It was a clause in there for me. You know, like stuff like that. She manages to wait. She can finesse her way into that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you have this family who sold their life to television, and you just thought that would be a good idea. I just don't see it. I just don't understand it. But again, it comes down back to what I was saying before. You attract what you are. He's a chaotic, misguided person, so you attract this. This is the best. Because a woman who is stable, who is in charge of her life, who knows what she's doing, who knows what she wants, who is clear, who's about her business, who's not into drama. What, she gonna be with Kanye West? Hell no. No, she's not gonna pick you. You're a maniac. I'm not doing that. See what I'm saying? You attract what you are. You attract the person who's willing to be with the maniac. What does that say about them?
But don't you think there was a way to, to avoid this or to keep him more stable? Like,
you mean as
it was
as
anyone
it is now?
else? Like, if any other successful woman would pick him up and he would have married her, if things would be like, what would they have to do to prevent this from happening? And I know it's a tough question because it's an accumulation. What's happening now is an accumulation of just a bunch of stress and stuff, and a big part of it would be the bubble you're in, which is your family, who is a reality TV family.
I think in his case it's difficult. I'm someone, I really believe people can change, but I do believe it becomes very tricky when you're 43 and you've been famous for a long time. I think it becomes very hard to try and tell that person to think, because anything you tell him, his reaction is, yeah, but people told me I would never be successful either, and I did. So you're probably wrong. That's really how he thinks. True. And I almost don't blame him for it, because it's like, yeah, I see how you would have that logic. But
of course. And we can't put ourselves in his Yeezys, but like his
I see what you did there. I see what you did.
But I think the only way to like really help would have been if he had a childhood friend who was a real friend who also grew to be at the level that he's in and experiencing the same life as he's in, which is like that requires such a crazy,
or was with him,
a bunch of consequences. Or was with him,
or
no,
is still around him.
I don't think, because I think at that point you still like can tell your friend, no, but you wouldn't understand because you're not me, because you're not the one who is the artist.
No. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. But still, I think if a close friend, I don't know. I still think you would listen to them differently than you would. I mean.
Yeah.
And I know, and I know I'm totally obvious here because I'm the Drake fanboy, but he's a very good example. Mom's there. He's talking to his dad. Early in his career, he wasn't talking to his dad very much. Now he's talking to his dad. His friends are all there. There's a he goes back to Toronto to get away from the bullshit. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. To not be in LA. He lives there now also. That whole like.
Oh, that is smart though. I didn't know he lives there now still.
Yeah. It was last year. He recently moved there. That whole. Have you seen the Tusi Slide video? The music video?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's his house, but that's his house in Toronto.
Oh, cool. That is smart. And you see that a lot more now. You have people that are moving for different reasons. LA is it used to be the place everybody really needed to go to make it an entertainment. People are now being pushed out or pushing themselves out anymore because it's become so oversaturated. And you speaking of Instagram thoughts or like, what they say, like every person in LA is an out of work actor with a script. It's true. But
right now,
it makes it for that so that the people that have already made it are like, okay, I made it now. Let's get the fuck out of this town.
Yeah,
Joe Rogan, all these comedians that have podcasts, which we're gonna get into in a bit too. They're slowly starting to move to Texas. Joe Rogan wants to move to Texas.
Everyone's moving to Austin. I heard Austin is big. Everyone's moving to Austin. I heard Austin is really moving right now when it comes to entertainment, art. Oh, lots going on there.
I think it's Brendan Schaub was moved to Dallas. Everyone else says like it's booming, but it's like LA, what LA was 20 years ago when everybody started moving there. Or 30 years ago.
Yeah. So I mean, LA is a must. LA is, and especially now with Corona, the whole Hollywood structure is falling apart. I mean, very soon LA is gonna be nothing. You know, it's not going to be a significant place for film anymore, and it'll be more about what you're capable of doing and who you know rather than where you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are now already getting accustomed to networking online because you're not allowed to meet in person. So that whole like, oh, I need to be in LA to meet people, that whole thing is going to go away. You see what I'm saying? Like,
it'll make it easier for me though, although I was excited for this, but I guess because I was gonna do this podcast at the end of the year. I was gonna leave a lot of the like saved up money that's left over from doing this. I was gonna take it and do a trip to LA for like a week or two, and then do all my interviews that I need to do over there. Yeah, that was the plan. That was gonna start this year, until Corona fucked me up.
What the?
Your video just dropped on the whatever. You still hear me?
Just, time tag it, timestamp it, punch in.
Yeah, it's all good.
We're good.
At least we do this.
No, you were just in the middle of saying you were going to LA. You wanted to go.
Yeah, so I was gonna. This was an idea I had because it's a lot of the guests, obviously, that I want to have on the podcast are in LA, and I was thinking if I go there, and a friend of mine who does similar work, she works in media and she works in advertising, and she was telling me like you go there. She went there to do interviews with people, and you just run into so many people that are famous that are just like randomly just at your cafe. And once you meet one person or the second person, you do interviews, they set you up with other people that you might want to talk to, or other celebrities as well, or people in their line of work. So I was like, okay, she's like, you definitely have to do this. So I made a plan to do that. Like whatever extra money's left over at the end of the year, we're gonna do I'll do a couple of interviews there, and maybe some more interviews come out of it. So I thought that was an interesting idea. But that's what I mean. Like that's what made it seem like it's so overly saturated. Like it's that one spot where everybody, like at some point that's gonna burst. At some point people are gonna spill over and go somewhere else. Yeah, because the way she explained it to me is that's just the center of it all. Once you're there, you'll be able to get so many interviews. If you do that, you can easily arrange like 10 interviews if you want in 2 weeks, easy, with all significant people.
You know what you should be? You know what you should try and do? You should try and become like the Vlad TV of entertainment and of film and television. Like Vlad TV, but then with actors and shit. With Hollywood people.
Let me know what you think. Yeah. I'm just asking their opinion. So for Hollywood. Hey, I wouldn't mind, man. I take all kinds of people. And the whole thing about in the booth
crazy stories
is we get people that have like from all walks of life. And I mainly focus on entertainment, which includes it's all. It's movies, it's athletes, it's musicians, artists, whatever. So, yeah. But then my face will be in it.
Well,
I don't have to put my face in it.
Talking about LA, I don't know if he still lives in LA. But this is a great segue into what your guy is going through, Chris.
Oh yeah, they live in LA.
Yeah. So okay. Good segue into what he's going through because that's
podcaster, comedian, podcaster Chris D'Elia. So as some of you might know
more about it than I do.
Yeah. So what? Okay. Some of you might know. He was. Someone outed him. A lady posted because he played. Okay, so this is the thing. Because I haven't watched this show. This particular. It's called You.
Take your time. Oh yeah, I have watched that show.
So he plays a comedian who is a pedophile, right?
Yeah, that's legit what he plays.
So, yeah, what I remember is the way it started is a girl then came out and put their messages or their emails that she had with Chris D'Elia online from when she was 16. Which, by the way, is age of consent, but it's still...
It's murky. It's murky. It's not right.
Either way, like he hit her up. He asked her if she wanted to make out, something like that. And then when he found out her age, or she said she's 16, I think he just like stopped communicating with her. And she's like, oh, it's funny he's playing this character because look at this. And after that, like a whole thread came of all these girls that he had hit up that were underage back in the day. Which I'm not here to defend him. Not here to
I'm not defending
agree
it.
or disagree.
I can't defend it.
I can't defend him for that. But his taste in women would be questionable, I guess. Which if that's you're into the young looking ones,
That's the one thing. I mean, I don't have all the details, but that's the one thing where I go, man. I mean, one time a slip up, you couldn't tell. She told you over text, then you stopped texting. Okay. But if a whole slew of women, man, like, who are you? Whose numbers are you asking? Like,
so okay, but so the other thing is, like, the comedians have come out, his friends, and not only his friends, but also his colleagues and people that have are in the comedy store and stuff like that. I mean, they said this guy. There's this. It's always been like he has this reputation that he fucks. Like he's the guy, He has a lot of women, and sometimes he brings 2 dates at once to the shows, and what his friends say is like, yeah, they're all like of age, they're all like always 30 plus even, and they never look younger either. So it's weird that to them it's a surprise he's into that. Like he's been reaching out to these young looking women, but it could be that he just like we do sometimes. We swipe Tinder when we're traveling, right? Stuff like that.
Okay, well, not
like celebrity status. Well, like we used to do for your case. So.
Nope, I gotta be safe.
Right.
I am spoken for.
Spoken for. But like his celebrity status, he uses that to hit up all of these women because he gets a lot. Like he just wants to hit up as many as he can, right? That just within those there could be a lot of underage girls as well, which shows that apparently the receipts he has, and he has shown his interaction. He's come out like after a while he spoke out, said like, okay, look, I never replied to once I found out their age. See, I've never communicated with them after that. And he never actually did something with any of them. Apart from the fact that I think a couple showed up to his show and he was hitting on them, but nothing transpired of it, apparently. There's a girl and her friend, and they were like 15, 16. It was like, but that isn't that the... Why are they, first of all, getting into this comedy store or this comedy place? Fake IDs.
Yeah, I mean, you know what time it is.
But imagine if he did. Imagine if he did. Imagine if he asked for ID and they show the fake ID. What's the case on that? Do you know? You know what would happen?
Okay, well, take it back. Hold on.
That's a
no. I think. You mean like he show like there is a physical situation and he shows.
Yeah.
Because they showed fake ID. I mean, look, man. Here's my thing. Here's how I honestly feel about this whole topic, right? Honestly, and I don't know, I don't know much about this particular comedian, but I've seen like some of his stand-up. But I just feel like you shouldn't be anywhere near, like, like it should be very clear that she's older. Like that's how I feel. Like even if you tell me you're 25 and you look too young, I'm just not interested. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when how do you get yourself in that situation, man? You gotta be.
But they could look older.
I think as a celebrity, we think of celebrities, being famous, groupies, sleeping with whoever you want. I don't know, man. A lot of what I'm seeing is telling me that when you're famous, you have to be even more careful with who you sleep with.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this is also what we were talking about. This is like 10 years ago, sometime. Some of them, or
yeah, he wasn't that famous.
Maybe. So he had
as he is now.
Or maybe even 6 years ago or something like that. But he did have the blue check mark. I remember that explicitly from the story. Is that a lot of the girls were like, oh, her friends were like, oh, you should reply to him. He's famous. He has a check mark. So that's why they replied to him. Because a lot of them didn't know who he was when he hit them up. So he would just go on Instagram. Something I do before I go to sleep.
Come on, Chris.
Right? A lot of the time, I'm taking the company page and I'm communicating with people. And I'm making network. I'm networking. So what he would do, Chris would, before he goes to bed, before his show, the night before his show, he would go and hit up all these random girls he would find.
Come on.
Some might say that's good marketing, though.
Come on.
He's trying to get them in the door. But it's so crazy, man. Because, like, maybe he forgets that you don't have to be 18 plus to join Insta.
I don't know what he's thinking. Because, okay, at that point, right, the question is, what about their profiles didn't inform you enough about the fact that, profile pics where if she has a picture with a high school bag.
Oh.
Or like some of them high school, or, like there have to be something on Instagram that would tell you that person is too young.
There was
That's
one
not
that
impressive.
said 16 in her Instagram bio.
Come on, guy. And then you still.
And another one that it
Come
said
on,
she
man.
is like the name of the high school and then senior.
Come on, man. You knew how old she was. What are you doing, man? What are you doing?
It doesn't look good.
What are you doing? It don't look right, man. It
Although,
don't look right.
and now Netflix. So he had
Yeah, so
another
that's the thing.
comedian that is funny is Bryan Callen, the OG of the comedians. They had a show that hadn't filmed yet, but it was approved and it was going to start shooting in 2 weeks. It was a prank show with D'Elia and Bryan Callen. And here, I have the article here, New York Times. Netflix dropped D'Elia's show after sexual misconduct allegations. More cancel culture, more guilty until proven innocent situation here.
Is that your words or the articles?
No, that's me.
Oh, okay.
I mean, because he is guilty until proven innocent right now. Which is...
well, that's always the case with this. That's always the case with this.
Because it's becoming more clear that he hasn't done anything. He didn't pursue, but he communicated and had a flirtatious conversation with underage girls.
Listen, man. The allegation,
unknowing.
The allegation. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's all about moving. You know, again, and you know, I can do it, man. I could tie it even back into Kanye. I could tie it back in. It's all about.
You want to tie it back in? Yeah,
You can, because it comes down to the same thing of just like, who are you? You at a certain level, right? You're going somewhere with your life. You know, you're the blue check mark. Where was the assistant? Where was the PR person to go? Yo, bruv, it's not a good idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, where was? That's how I always think about stuff like that when people have these major fuck ups. Because this is a major fuck up. He lost the show, and his stand up is still there, but I don't know.
I feel bad for Brian.
How much? Yeah,
because he didn't do shit. Now he lost his show. He lost his money. God knows he needs it.
Yeah, but I think where was the team to keep you? You know, I don't know. Did you ever watch that Kevin Hart doc?
No, I didn't end up watching it.
But I heard it's
very good.
Very good doc on Netflix. Why am I bringing it up? It's because it's a similar thing. There's a comedian who had a PR debacle, and that got him dropped off of something. It's the same story, right? For him, it was the Oscars with his statements about the LGBTQIA plus community.
But then he also have the video where he cheated on his wife.
You also have that, yes. But he in that documentary, he actually pointed out that a lot of what was the whole situation with cheating on his wife, actually, a lot of that had to do with that his friends weren't there. He was in I think it was Las Vegas. This is his word. This is how he explained it. He said he was in Las Vegas by himself, and he's just, he's drinking, and he's in this situation, and he said, normally, there is a friend of mine or someone there to stop this from happening. But
the
now
spotter, you always need the spotter, bro.
But now there was someone around who he didn't trust, who then put him in that situation and then tried to blackmail him. Someone who was supposed to be his friend. That's actually, you should watch the doc. It's a very good doc. They talk about all that.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I can see like now it's bringing back my own memories because we've all been there. But we're not famous, so we don't get those consequences.
Yeah, but you need that. You need that support system, that people to think along with you. Especially at that level.
Yeah.
Especially at that level.
For sure. And I think...
Because again, I get the whole, we don't... and I don't know all the facts, but they're saying, okay, he didn't do anything. Apparently, age of consent is 16 in many states. The states, and apparently those in the states where he contacted them, it seems to be the age of consent was 16. You can put all those things on paper, but the problem is, this just sounds bad. And just the fact that a girl can post a screenshot of a conversation between you and her when she was 16 is already a problem. It already looks bad. Even if you do it, you shouldn't even be... Who's talking to a girl, the 16-year-olds, man? Come on. Come on. Like, it looks bad already. You see what I'm saying?
I find it funny, it's always the people
he shouldn't have done that.
No, it's always the famous people that are in a power position or in a position to get any girl they want where these situations happen. Whereas, why is it like in our case that doesn't happen? Where you think it would happen in our case because we're trying to hit up everybody, or we're. I mean, you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
I mean, well, we've all had the situation. I mean, we've all run. I can't remember the last time.
Why is
I
a
ran
guy?
into it. But I know I've ran into it before, where
anyone, essentially,
exactly
doing that. Yeah,
I don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. I can't understand it. But something like this is just because it's unfortunate, man. I mean, I know he was up there, but he was moving up. You know what I mean? He was going to get his own show. Things were.
He's gonna speak now.
Things are coming in, and then something like this happened, and now, and all because you didn't think this through, or because you're actually a filthy pedophile. I don't know. Then apparently you tell me the evidence leans towards no, that's not the case.
But then the overwhelming amount of cases leads me to lead like that's his.
Something about it is off, man.
That's his type of girl.
Because he's not denying that he did have contact with these women. He's just saying, I didn't go any further, and when I found out their age, I stopped talking to them.
Yeah.
But then,
just like that's your taste, which is questionable.
That's off, man.
Then again, I do have a lot of friends who are dating girls that look very young but aren't.
Yeah,
so,
man. But
what do we think of that? So that's it's so weird. But then again, maybe to them they look older. Somehow, like people look different ages. Like when you buy liquor or something, some might never ask for an ID, and some people always ask for an ID.
Yeah,
I'll come to find that out.
Yeah,
or buying some smokes or something. There's one lady who like, why don't you remember my face? She'll always card.
Oh, you keep.
And other ones who are like, never do, because to them I look my age. To others I look like 16. For some reason. So I don't know. No, but anyway, like this is just another one of these cases. We'll see how it transpires.
So where are we now with it then? What's that? Because the show got dropped. What now?
So I say,
has he said anything, or has he released a statement?
He says, I know I've said and done things that might have offended people during my career, but I've never knowingly pursued any underage women at any point, he said in the statement. I have never met or exchanged any inappropriate photos with the people who have tweeted about me. Mr. D'Elia went on to apologize in the statement for being a dumb guy who let myself get caught up in my lifestyle. And I think that's also what it is, actually. I was going to say that, at some point, you're living that high life, things start coming automatically, things start moving automatically, you're riding this wave, you have so many things on your mind, other things, career-wise and stuff, that this is just like one of those little things you do while you're sitting on the toilet, like you just like to pass the time. It's just hitting up random people, not thinking about it.
This is where you need that support system.
Exactly.
This is where you need that support system. This is where you need that person who's checking, who's around, and you see it with I'm just saying, like with a lot of celebrities that don't get into stuff like this or rarely get into it. Everything I hear about them tells me that that's what they have. We just talked about Jay-Z. He still has his old, friends from way back around him. He has a great wife. Drake has all his old friends around him. They have these people around them that are just like, okay, keeping them grounded, keeping them in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not saying this guy doesn't have that, but I'm
people,
like saying someone should have been there. Someone should have
intervened. I mean, he has. I believe he's. I don't know. I listen to his podcast sometimes. I feel like he does. He mentions his old buddies from high school a lot that sometimes visit, but they're not around him. Maybe that's the thing. They're not around him because they live in different states. Maybe that's what it is. They just need to be around you, and they need to be. Can't lose touch with them, because once you do dumb shit, like I expect you to check me. And also, what plays into it is, I think a lot of people you say like, or I'll go back to me. I really couldn't care less what people think of me and what they think of my decisions and what they think of where I'm going. But when it's the people that I find really close, or family, or people that know me, that I know deep inside know me, that does matter, and I do listen. And that's who I do when they say something. I'm like, oh, maybe I should think twice about this, or maybe they're right, maybe they have a point. So
exactly.
Maybe in their minds they're like, oh, I'm not gonna do this because maybe they'll judge me. Whereas the others think like, oh, I don't care if the people that I don't know judge me, so I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, but that's just.
But it's the fact of like in the back of your mind, always think of how would the people you care about the most feel about this action?
And especially a lot of these things, my thing about it is, this is so avoidable. This is really you really didn't have to be in this situation. You can very easily avoid being come on. That's my thing with the Kanye, but also with this. It's like, you really didn't have to. This didn't have to happen to you. It's just all, come on, man.
Bro, like, this is it's
what are you doing?
It happens in the best phase of your career, always. You got this show, he got his special out, he just had a kid, now he has this show coming.
That's where I think that's the exposure. The more exposure you get, the more, people who have had that kind of, have had a relationship with you, see you and hear about you.
Yeah, maybe people he's hit up didn't know
what
who
you
he
just
was.
told me. Well, you just said it. A girl watched the show. You.
Yeah.
She watched the
maybe
show
she
and
like
saw
forgot
him
about
in the
it.
show.
And then she's like, oh shit. Yeah, I know that guy. He hit me up once, and then she sees how big he got it. Oh my god.
And he's playing the same thing in the show.
Yeah.
See, so that's he should have never played that character. Never
shouldn't.
Where was the case?
But do you think if he had really done something, because if you've done something wrong, and if you pursue these women, I think if he did pursue them, he wouldn't have done the show. Because then that shit's gonna come out of it. Because it's a Netflix show. Every girl you hit up is watching Netflix. And they're the target demographic for this show.
Facts. No, well, everything he's doing communicates to us that at least he thinks he didn't do anything wrong. The question is...
Yeah.
But it's not... The thing is, it's not up to you whether you did something wrong. It's up to, a judge.
Even if you didn't do anything wrong, you could lose everything
legally, it's not up to the judge. This is really a case... Actually, this is really a case where it's completely up to the court of public opinion. Because for as far as we know now, legally, he's done nothing wrong. Legally, there's nothing. So this one is right? You told me 16.
Yeah, dude, I know for a fact. If I had to bet my life on it, nothing's gonna happen. He's not gonna get persecuted. He's not gonna even get a fine. He's not gonna get community service.
Because legally, there's nothing going on. The age of consent is 16. He didn't do anything.
It's just that your name being associated with
it's
that.
The association.
In the same sentence.
It's creepy. It's creepy
when it's not just like okay. I thought you were just talking from a business standpoint for the networks, for Netflix and.
Yeah, that's what I mean. For Netflix, it's creepy. It's like, we don't want that association with this dude who people look at as creepy now.
Oh yeah, because even now already, like here, this New York Times article, you see the name Netflix, D'Elia, sexual assault in the same sentence. So
sexual assault. Well, you just told me.
Well, not sexual assault. It's wait, what does it say? Actually, it says sexual misconduct allegations. Yeah. Yeah,
but you see that already. It just sounds wrong, man. You don't want you. That is, as a public figure, your name next to any of that is just, it's suicide. It's just like, it's a problem. You see what I'm saying? So you should put yourself in a position, like, you really have to put yourself in a position where if someone comes out, where first of all, people would never, you haven't done anything, obviously, and people wouldn't even try to come out of and make up stories. But even if someone did, people would just be like, nah, fam, not him. Not this person. Or not her, right? Mm-hmm. They would not do it. I'm not buying it. No way. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you need that type of reputation. A lot of people don't have that type of reputation.
Like Tom Hanks.
Who's buying that? Who believes that? I'm not. You know who's buying that?
Even him getting coronavirus, I didn't buy. Like, imagine like this.
Yeah, I was like, not Forrest. Not Forrest.
Nah.
No, man, what are you talking about?
He has kids.
You see what I'm saying? It's just about having, a stand-up character and a stand-up reputation for yourself. That's also just very important. I mean, if you're always a creeper, then you're always a creeper. Because the more of a creeper you are, more likely it is that you did something foul like that. So,
hey, remember that.
Yeah, that's important to uphold your reputation.
Then again, he has such a diehard, like...
No, then again, if you really did it, it's foul. I mean, it's foul. It doesn't look good also.
Oh, yeah.
In his situation, I mean.
I was saying, like, he has such a ride or die fan base, though, that okay. And I think with all these comedians also, if the networks didn't drop them, they will stick around, and they wouldn't give a fuck. And actually, I think the shows would probably still do massive numbers. It's just that the shows don't want to be attached to, to these kinds of reports. Because like Louis C.K., man. if anyone would have just released his show, it's still gonna do the numbers. It's not gonna drop off.
If you release a Louis C.K. let me again, because we have to be careful. We have to be responsible. I do not condone what he did. What he did was wrong. It was stupid. It was foul. It was sexual misconduct.
Even to men, it didn't make sense. Just believe me.
It's foul and it's wrong. Well, it's wrong. It's also it is that is because he really did do something. That is sexual misconduct. What he did. That's sexual harassment.
Yeah. See, there's like
right? That's what he did.
Because that's not an allegation.
That happened.
I mean,
and the women were there in the room.
Like
they were physically in the room.
It's not like he attempted to. He did.
No, this happened. Right. So it's wrong. With that being said, if you release a Louis C.K. stand-up show right now, fam, records are gonna be broken, especially now because people have not heard from him. So especially now,
yeah, dude,
it's going viral.
Then it comes down to the PR team again. They're waiting it out the right time, right amount of time. Play it the right way, say the right things in the meantime, because he's broken his silence on a podcast, I believe, right? Or several, whatever it is. I know
he did a show. It just was never. It only had I could only find an audio version of it. Like it was never officially released. But he's still a comedian. He still tours. Is what I heard at least. He's still out there. And I know he did do a show where he talked about this also.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird how the world forgave him quick, huh?
Louis?
Yeah.
The world was, from where I was standing, never even really that mad at him. The world. And from where I was standing, it seemed like, okay, this happened. Sucks. All right, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's Louis. That's really the reaction that I saw. Well, even if you look, you remember when we went to that stand-up show?
The Theo Von.
Theo Von and the opener.
Let's see Theo Von.
The opener was talking about that.
The opener was creepy, man.
Well, no, not that opener. God. No, not that one. Not the. You mean
the opener. Yeah. No,
you mean the Dutch one.
Ari Manis, yeah. I meant the MC. I thought you meant the first opener, yeah, because he made some. He made some rape jokes that didn't go over well.
No, he was wrong. No, I mean the one after that. He talked about Louis C.K.
He did talk about Louis C.K.
And he was basically. I mean, I'm not going to tell the joke because I'm not going to. It's not going to be funny. But if I say it, but the gist of it was,
because people are going to clip this one part of you.
But the gist of it was, This is Louis C.K. This is Louis C.K. Man, he's a fucking legend.
Because his previous reputation. This is why I'll give you another example. Bill Cosby. It took a while. It took a while for something to actually happen to any persecution, any sort of in relation to relatively. I mean. To the gravity of the situation of what he did, because what he did is on two levels higher. People never
wanted to believe it. People didn't want to believe it
because he's the family man. He's the PC comedy. He's clean. He's like everybody's grandpa at this point. So it took a while until you suddenly say, okay, evidence 1, evidence 2, 3, 4. Oh, what he did? What?
Foul.
Oh, there's drugs involved. Okay.
His shit was also disgusting. It was, but the funny thing. What I heard that a lot of people knew this already. Also, kind of like I heard this.
People did.
I heard this was very similar to the Harvey Weinstein situation. Actually, exactly the same. Everybody knew, but no one said anything because it's Bill Cosby.
Oh, then you see, with Harvey Weinstein, it went super quick because look how he looks. Look at the guy.
Look
how he is.
Exactly. Aside from him being a rapist, pedophile,
that's from his
horrible
personality
person.
Being so dislikable, and
he was also an asshole. So as soon as this publicly, as soon as it happened, it was like, oh,
yeah, that's like boom. That's it. Like if you have your reputation in check from before, like you might be able to. I'm not saying get away with what they did, but get away with something like Chris D'Elia did, maybe, where you didn't do anything, but people maybe like actions where you've been accused but you didn't actually act upon these things,
or or you legit didn't do nothing. I mean, we're not allowed to say it, but
didn't do anything.
You have stories where it's fiction. It's fiction. It just didn't happen.
Which, okay, I stand by it. I believe
like,
Chris D'Elia didn't do anything, right? Because also he didn't harass anybody either. Well, it's not like he pursued, and it's not like he was prying and sort of forcing.
Well, I mean, I think that if
he's
he really
just like, oh, would you like to come out and would you like to hook up with me? It was like a question. He always left it as it seems like a question, or
it was polite.
Yeah, it was, or he's like, oh, you should come out to the show and we should hang out after. Like it was those kinds of messages. It wasn't like, oh, you better come out, or like,
that's you know what's funny? You know what's funny? That's really scary. You should really watch that show, because in the show, that's exactly the same type of thing he does.
Oh, really?
No, really. That's the scary thing. Like, in everything you told me about this, it's literally the character in the show, the exact same way. Like, girls
method acting. Maybe he was doing research.
Like girls who want to be in the film industry, and they want to connect with him because they want to get a start in making movies, and he's a famous, comedian, actor, and that's what in the show, that's how it goes. And then he messages him stuff like, oh, you want to hang out and come watch a movie and we can talk about it together, or we can talk about your movie idea that you had, or you want to come to my show and after we could do the exact same thing in that show is what this.
Damn, man.
That's why I think that's
crazy.
It's
but that's why that's what people are really like. That's what's really gaining it more traction than it should be getting, and that's how the whole story got legs anyway. It started with the girl sharing the message like, oh, look, he did the same thing to me in real life. Except he didn't act upon it. So, innocent until proven guilty. My book, in the Book of Hollywood, guilty until proven innocent.
Age of consent, stay far, far away. I mean, age of consent, and then add another 5 years to it. That's how I do it. Age of consent, and then add another 5 years on top of it. There's a mathematical equation. Yeah, like, I don't... Stay away from it, man. I mean, for what, dude? It's just, come on.
It's not
it's foolishness, man. No, but it's foul. It doesn't look good. But we'll see. I don't have all the info. I don't know if more info is coming.
So do you ever look at this and think, like these situations and everything we're talking about now, including Kanye and all that, and you actually learn from it for your own life, even though you're not a celebrity? Because I do. I take it as with the looking forward, because we're building a fan base. We're, doing our thing, prying away, and I think something interesting that one of the guests said, Tene, the French singer, it's very interesting, is it's always important to have a plan and be prepared, because like in this industry, gaining traction or getting famous, it happens so quickly that you don't have time to prepare once it happens. You should already be prepared and already have a plan and already know exactly how you're going to handle your PR, everything, and your marketing or whatever for when it happens, when it hits. Because when that one day comes, when you get like millions of views, for example, you gain traction, all of a sudden, if you don't know what to do, you're already going to be burnt out from the beginning. A lot can go wrong. Also, a lot of the competition will drown you out.
It's the same thing.
So I take from all of this, and I take from all these podcasts, it's the same way you take, you see how they do things technically, or how they do their segues or whatever. Also on life advice and also on this career advice, a lot of people will be like, but that's just like rich people problems, or like that's the celebrity problems. Oh yeah, no, but it could happen to you. And you better be ready when the time comes to do the right thing and say the right things.
It's very important, man, to be.
I think this fits into the podcast because we're trying to get all these people to give information to the upcoming aspiring artists, entertainers out there. So
yeah. No, it's completely irrelevant. No, because to tie it even further in, because I was gonna say it's the same thing with music. Because I think I've talked to you about this too before. I've always said, that person who makes that one song and it becomes a hit song immediately. They rarely go far. Why? Because now you have this hit song. All these people come and look at you, but you have no catalog. You have nothing. You haven't been doing this for years, where you've been building up all these mixtapes that we can go back to. And rarely,
the other 20 songs in your folders are trash because you haven't finished them.
And that's what you see. A good example of that is Tekashi. Tekashi has very few songs. If you think about it, when he blew up, he was going song by song. Like, he would make songs fast, but he didn't have a back catalog. He didn't have like, oh, I just heard Gummo for the first time. This is dope. Let me go listen to his mixtape. There was no mixtape.
That's why he started as a meme.
And
to me, it started as a
see,
meme. I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting.
Yeah, and I'm not saying he's not, and I know he's doing numbers, but I'm saying I think the kid is actually very talented. He should be at a much better position than he is now. He should be way more ahead than he is now. If you consider he's been doing it for years now. He's really not where he should be. People have come after him and passed him. People have come after him and passed him, man. Other newer artists have come after he blew up and passed him already. Roddy Ricch, the baby blew up after. Like people have come, but because he's not, he has all this mess going on. But he also wasn't prepared. He wasn't prepared for the blow up.
But is he the right example? Because he is still doing and breaking records now. But I don't know. It's still the question whether that's like because it was the first release after prison and they wonder what he had to say and everybody tuned in. How well did Yaya do the new number, the one in Spanish?
I don't know.
Because I think that one did well. I also thought it was a good song too.
Because I'm saying, and I know, because we all went, okay, numbers, he's breaking up. But first of all, as an artist, the money really comes from the shows.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just thinking, like, you already had issues where certain venues wouldn't book him because of the drama around him. You can't be having them type of problems.
Yeah.
That's nonsense.
Random people in the crowd are going to be caught in crossfire.
So there were certain venues who they didn't want to book him because they're like, this is going to be a fucking shootout over here. I'm not doing this.
Okay, listen, you own a struggling club and you get the chance to book Tekashi. Would you do it?
Right now? Yes. Right now, yes. Because right now it seems like everything's simmered down. Right now it looks like it's simmered down.
No, but like if he goes out and does a show, I mean, granted the ankle bracelet will have to be malfunctioning. Take that. That's a hypothetical. It's not a real life thing.
No, but I'm saying
I would not know. Like
all them dudes, he put all the dudes that want to shoot him in jail. All the dudes that want to shoot him are in jail now. So he should be fine. Or am I completely off?
Right. I don't think you can ever get rid of like these people are bloods. If that's
true. They are definitely bloods. Real bloods.
Real ones. So if they're really run like if it's a new school mafia type situation, there'll be someone else to shoot you.
Well, you know what the story was, right? He approached them. He approached them and said, "Hey, I have this idea." He didn't know them. They weren't his that base, that relationship. He didn't know these people. He walked up to them like, "Yo, I have this idea for a video. I think it could go viral. You guys down? Cool." So we see them guys in Gummo. In the background video, I remember watching that video and going, "Oh, this is funny." And then later on, hearing like, "No, those were real bloods."
Yeah, we watched it on Three Angry Men together.
Yeah, those weren't just some dudes who dressed up for the music video. Those are real bloods. That's what they really do.
Yeah, I knew that from the beginning. Looking at it, I knew that for sure would have been the case because they had the whole block, and the reports were that's a blood neighborhood, and like they would never allow that to happen if it was fakes, right? Yeah, but I was always questioning his affiliation, which now is obviously fake.
He's not,
and he used them more as a loan shark, as you said.
They just used him for money.
Yeah, it's like they were loan sharks, and he like indebted his life to them at some point in a way, like the way it goes, where like it slowly, gradually goes from here. Okay, here you take this, pay us back or pay us in residuals, whatever this does. And to like, oh, let's push out more. We'll give you a lot more money and push out a lot more, but then kick back the percentage to us and we'll use it to fund crime. That's racketeering. Yeah, that's what it is.
Boom. Criminal justice breakdown.
But that's always how it's been. Because I related to Frank Sinatra, I believe, has big ties to the mafia, whether it's knowing or unknowingly or not. Yeah, like he just tended to hang out at the same bars that they were notorious for them or owned by. Mafia, they funded him. It's more like a loan. Yeah, it's like investments in stock.
Back then, a lot of artists had their first record was funded by the mafia. That's facts. A lot of artists.
There was a recent guest on. He acted in The Godfather on DJ Vlad's show, and he had actual ties with the mafia. Let me see what interview there was with. Because DJ Vlad does a lot of these interviews with Mafia.
Yeah, DJ Vlad, I don't know. I don't watch his stuff.
Johnny Russo was saying, why do you think the mob doesn't exist anymore? It's because now they own legitimate businesses. The mob was a way for them to fund all these businesses. So a lot of these big corporations even, and a lot of in entertainment as well, labels or whatever, used to be the mafia. But now, because they made enough money, they don't need to be about that life anymore. And
that's, you see, that was, but you know what the thing is? That was always the plan. Anyone who really has looked into the mafia at all, even a little bit, I'm not an expert, but even a little bit, you understand that was always the plan. Their plan was always to do this, to lift up their communities and their families so that when they have a kid or a grandchild, it's a legitimate business now, and all that other shit is done. You see what I'm saying? That was always
in a way like it's very iconic, like it's like Breaking Bad. It's what Breaking Bad is.
It's exactly.
Walter White was doing it to leave the money for his kids so that they could have a normal life.
It's exactly like Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Breaking Bad is like a more just personal level kind of thing instead of an organization, family, many families kind of thing. But it's interesting how the Tekashi case is the exact same, but then it goes to gangs. And you're an absolute inbred if you think that these gangs or not gangs, maybe the mob thought, oh, we should carry this out forever, and that we could even carry this out forever and get away with things forever. Granted, I do believe that there is still mob, there's still mafia around, but those must be like new factions or newer families, not the same old OG ones, to say.
Yeah,
those old transpired. Yeah,
it's just like with him also. It's just like he was caught. He okay. If you're funded by the Bloods, right? But you just do your thing. You stick to the music. You bring in the numbers. Everyone's making money. Everyone's happy. That could work. He's bringing problems. He's going off with people, making beef here and there. Come on, man. Like that was a big part of it. He's drawing too much. He was drawing too much attention to it. He was drawing all this attention to... No, but seriously. He was drawing all this attention to it, creating all this drama, and then the cop said, well, let's look into this kid. Again, it's so important to move strategically, to move intelligently, to think about what you're doing, to have the right people around you. That's the best life advice you could possibly ever get, really.
Have the right people around you. And have them be people you trust and that knew you before you were famous. You know, with age, you just know how to judge these things better and judge people's intentions better. But in general, you'll have a hunch, you'll have the intuition of like who. Think of it like this. I would think of it like this: if you're in any kind of situation, whatever kind of work you do, try to imagine yourself owning a business, and think about the friends you have, the closest friends you have. Who would be your PR person? Who would be your HR person? Who would be your CFO? Who would be like assign roles to people as if your life is a business?
Dude, you should honestly. And I was going to add to that. You should honestly watch that Kevin Hart doc. You would really like it because that's what he did. That's why it works for him. His friends all work with him. One of his best friends. One of his best friends is a personal trainer, so he does his
I know that guy. Training. He's in his videos. They did the Roger Mayweather joke.
Exactly. He does that. Then he has another guy that helps him with PR. Then he has, like, the movie Night School was written by his friend.
But dude, that's
his friend wrote that. Like, he brings his friends in. Exactly.
You elevate the team. But that's what I love that.
So, one of his friends was homeless. And was too proud to tell him that. He didn't know. He was homeless. And then when he found out, he helped him, lifted him up, but gave him also something to do. He didn't give him money. He gave him a job. Now he hosts all of his comedy shows. He's the host of it.
That's important.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
because who knows your friends better than you? Like, no employer will help, but you know how to employ your friends. If you had a company, I would think about it like that. It's the same with me, man. I try to help when I get a bag or whenever you know, there's a time I feel rich. It's not like you don't just give money. You try to. It's more like, you put your friends on your projects. Like I do. Like you get a video production, you put your friends on, you get them paid like that, or I'd like to. It's not hedonism. Oh no, what is it? Nepotism.
Nepotism, hedonism.
It's hedonism. It is definitely. I'm a heathen. Goddamn. No, it's not nepotism per se. Because I'm not gonna fuck up my business because my friend doesn't know how to do something. You
absolutely not.
You put them and use them in positions where you know they're good, and you elevate their strengths. And like that, they also feel like they earned it, the money, and not that it was just a handout. And you give them a platform to promote themselves and their own work. I think that's what's important. That's the distinction they need to, because you can't just hire all your friends. There's friends that wouldn't work with. There's friends that just suck at work in general.
Yeah, who are just they're good.
You don't
friends,
tell them that. You know who you are, you piece of shit. No,
so they're good friends, but as far as
there's your friend's strengths. Like you've worked with me on productions. Like I know what you can do, and there's things I'm not gonna put you on. There's things I know you can do well. I'm not just gonna randomly put you on something. I'm just gonna put you on things I know you can do. Exactly. And I think you could thrive on yourself.
It's all about providing opportunities. As opposed to giving handouts, you provide opportunities. You don't give handouts.
Yeah,
provide opportunities.
And I think
people. That's when they can grow.
And you'll be prepared for when things blow up. Yeah, man, this has been a long ass episode.
We didn't even get to Drake rapping in Arabic.
We didn't even get to Drake rapping in Arabic was so. He has this line in Arabic.
Arabic thing told me that I look like Yusuf, look like Hamza. Habibti, please, ana akid, inte wana akhla.
By the way, with my guy, Heady One. Let's not pass by Heady One. You should look in Heady One. Heady One is about to be the next biggest artist in the UK. That guy's talented. I listened to his album.
Heady One?
Yeah. I listened to his album. I thought he was better than Drake on that song. I think he did better than Drake on that song.
He was, but it's more like it is his song, right?
Oh, let's not get it twisted. Drake is Drake, but that is definitely a Heady One song. And if you listen to if you listen to Heady One,
like, you know what like Drake tends to do. He's done this before with what's the song called?
Look Alive?
With the dance. Yeah, Look Alive. Yeah. We're like, it's someone else's song, but it sounds like it's a Drake song, and that the other guy's the feature.
Yeah, but here I didn't feel that way.
No, I didn't feel that way as much, but it was like more like Drake is the prominent presence in it, and he was the memeable character.
Yeah, no, he was definitely the bigger. He was the story. Like he's the one who people talked about. Yeah, of course, because that just is. I mean, that's expected. It's Drake, but I'm just saying, on our platform where we have the opportunity. Go check out Heady One, man. That's my guy. He's been out.
So Heady One is.
Yeah, look out for Heady One. Heady One's about to blow up. Heady One is already big.
You know what? Here,
he's already big.
Subscribe to him now.
He's already big, but
yeah, he's big.
He's about to become like a superstar. That dude is talented, fam. His problem only he gets into too much trouble. He just got out of jail. Like he's constantly involved with the law and stuff. That's the only issue. So he needs to stop that.
Maybe Drake can keep him off that.
Drake is good at scouting that talent right at the correct time, because Heady One is really blowing up now, and that's when Drake comes in and says, "Yo, let's do a feature." It's
I mean, you can take anything. People can shit on Drake as much as they want, but he has good intuition. I think he has good intentions too. He's not using anyone. He understands his position as I'm a hit maker. I am the number one artist in the world. I mean, of course, that's subjective, but numbers wise, I think he's still the number one, right? So
he was the artist of the decade by Spotify numbers.
Yeah, so
that's
facts. He can only be used. He cannot use people, I think, and when it comes to music in his career. So him jumping on these songs and these features, it's like he is doing them a favor. And also, he's recognizing their talent, and it's not like, oh, he's just trying to stay relevant, So it's coming out of his own, like he wants to elevate talent and people. He genuinely wants to see people succeed.
Yeah. I think you can genuinely do both. Also, Because it definitely helps him.
Yeah.
In terms of also staying relevant and but also keeping himself sharp. Yes, keeping himself sharp. You know, you're going on a song. You're already this superstar. You've been doing this for years. You go on this song with this kid who's really now blowing up. He's hungry. He's focused. You have to. That's why I said I need to try something new. I need to rap in Arabic because this dude is rapping. Dude, I need to try something.
Change every 3 months.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and he tends to do this thing. He has these gimmicky, memeable elements in his music that like he really plays into the internet culture. Aside from the fact that I think he's invested in several esports teams and being in streaming culture, he's been on some streams playing video games, so he understands that side of the culture and that like a lot of younger people and little younger audiences he can reach through these mediums. He's always been smart with that, very sharp with that. Memes and trends and being shared, like the Kiki challenge, like his dance on
Juicy Slide.
No, Tootsie Slide. There's the one on the Call Me On Myself.
Hotline Bling. Yeah.
Hotline Bling. So see, it's like it's not even that old of a song. You already forget. Like it's all memeable. It's all shareable. Like even this, like the amount of people I saw them put that in their stories and sending it to me as well. You sent it to me. My cousin sent it to me. My old guest sent it to me. Another guest I had on the show. Another guest, even Iman Kawa. She put in her stories because we're all Arabs. Oh shit, Drake did an Arabic line, and he knows how to penetrate markets. And the Middle Eastern market was one, like the Brit when he went to did his album with all the British rappers, and then he started using British slang, and everyone, like a lot of people clowned him for that, but in England everyone respected him for that. Oh, that's really cool. And now with the Arabic, it's the same thing is happening.
You think he's gonna do it more often?
No, but I mean, at least it's like created this
maybe,
whole wave.
I don't know.
I feel like going viral in the Middle East. Or I feel like, that's
but that's just it. Just like for him, it's literally like, I feel like, that's just, I'm in the mood for this today.
Yeah. Or he is setting up, or he's laying up, and he's giving an alley-oop to his next project, which maybe, who knows, man. I hope he features my people. I hope he features a lot of talent coming from there.
Might have Middle Eastern influences. I mean, he's definitely
this is just like the little taste of like, oh, something's coming. Even though this was like, I told you, the line is quite dumb, to be honest. But
what's the translated for the? You told me already, but translated for the people, man.
It comes down to, what was it? Look like what's the first name he mentioned, and then look like Hamza. Well, these are names. Like
he said, look like Yusuf, look like Hamza.
Yeah, looks like Yusuf, look like Hamza. Baby, my love, together, me and you look better. That's what it translates to. So it's a bit like corny, but I'm not mad at it because
no, but it's do your thing, man. Do your thing.
And his accent, he was just very
that's funny. I can't
grab an Arabic book.
I obviously can't hear shit like that. Like it didn't sound like an actual Arabic person speaking. I'll tell you that. Like I have Arabic friends.
It sounded literally sounded like Drake speaking Arabic.
It sounded off, but I was like, I wonder how this sounds to an Arabic person. Like, how off does this sound?
When I first saw it, I laughed, and then I was like, this will go viral. I knew it.
Because, some Arabic people were defending him. Some Arabic people said, oh, he did it pretty well. But I think it's just because it's Drake that was saying that.
Yeah, it's just that. I mean, he has a huge fan base. In the Middle East, people love him. Maybe they think he's Arabic because he looks Arabic. He could be Arabic, man, the way he looks.
They talk about that. Yeah, they've made that comments before. There's been memes like that. There were memes like that before.
Oh, yeah. But people like him, man. It's like, I think, I just realized this now, talking to you right now about this. I've been a guest on the radio a few times in the Middle East.
Facts.
I've been on the shows, and we always were asked to
talk about it, Nick.
No, we had to watch our language, and the most radio there is censored to a point. Like we mentioned Rihanna's ass once, and this producer comes in really pissed off.
Oh, really?
You're not allowed to swear on most radio. Yeah, I mean, of course, that's mentionable. I think it's very.
I love you. Well, of course. I mean, what do you mean?
She releases it. Really? You want me to talk about the music only?
Of course we're gonna
Even
talk
with the
about
brand
ass.
now, I mean, like it's all a lot of ass related stuff, which is her is it lingerie?
Ass related
Lingerie.
stuff. You need to relax, my friend.
Lingerie is ass related,
Ass related. Yo, okay.
isn't it?
So what do you ass related? It's ass related stuff. You need to take some steps
she
back.
has a whatever. So it's not even the point is, it's very censored.
Yeah.
Is quite. It's not vulgar. It's tame. So it gets played a lot.
So it works. Yeah.
Not just because it's
especially his
Drake, but
popular
more
songs,
like
popular
he's
songs.
he's like somewhere in between genres, and he's a rapper, but he's not. A lot of the time, it's like he knows how to ride these lines very well, where it doesn't limit his music to be played anywhere, and it helps him reach all these countries also where there's a lot of censorship, I guess. He just reaches his status.
The man is.
So anyway, I think he's aware of that, and he should play into that. I just don't hope he does a Chinese thing eventually, because that I don't see happening.
No, please don't. I mean,
You should
this
get
is
on TikTok.
as a one-time thing. It was cool, but no, he should leave it. He should leave it for what he should do. He's gearing up for an album though. The DJ Khaled releases. He did 2 tracks. He did. Those tracks are out.
Wait, DJ. So
He's leading up. He's leading up to something. I liked.
Hey, man.
Popstar was pretty good.
I hope. I hope it's not a one-time. I hope him rapping in Arabic might be a one-time thing, but I hope it means he'll get some Arabic talent on. God
Also,
knows we need
Arabic
it.
influences. Arabic influences on the
Arabic
on the
influence
album.
is good.
Because
Good,
I
like
think
when-
it wasn't
when
just.
people-
I think he wasn't just only rapping Arabic. I think the guys in the hoodies had something. Am I
Oh
off?
yeah, I was seeing that now.
There was
Yeah,
an
it said
Arabic
so.
sign. They had Arabic words. So he might be trying to hit something.
What is it? Oh, I
Yeah,
don't know what
man.
it says. It says GLB or something, I think.
Oh really?
But it looks Arabic like. Yeah, I thought it was Arabic too.
If it passes by fast, you don't. Yeah, it looks like.
Yeah. Hey man, that'd be sick. What were you saying before? Before we got off this.
Release. He's planning to release an album. He put out 2 tracks with DJ Khaled. That's a rollout. He's on a rollout. This Arabic thing is a rollout. He's rolling out an album. He's preparing for an album.
Well, DJ Khaled's Arabic, so DJ Khaled is.
You see the connections.
Ooh, they might put some people on. Bro, I know a couple of talents, so we're gonna mention them at some point. The next show we do, I guess.
Man, if anyone from
Next
OVO,
show we do, we're gonna talk
anyone
about.
from
We're gonna
OVO
get
is listening, man. Link us. You know what I mean? Hit Nick up. He knows some people. Put them on.
No, when I say I know the people, I know people that would absolutely fit with Drake's work. They wouldn't even, bro. Like, I'm talking about, because, we all know really talented people. These are, like, high caliber talented people to the level that if they had millions of followers, you wouldn't be surprised. But they don't, because this is the music industry. And this is entertainment. But we live in 2020 and you can create your own brand. Don't let anything stop you, man. Like,
Yep.
because their talent speaks for itself. It will get them wherever they need to be. Maybe they won't reach their peak, but at least they'll reach somewhere and can say, I did this by myself. But yeah, there's people around, man. There's talent. Someone was asking me before, like, how come Tupac and how come all these people come from America? What about Jordan? We have a lot of, not just Jordan, like, it goes for any country. Why don't these people come from here? Well, yeah, there's no excuse. I mean, obviously, before it was like, that's the industry. It's there. They're the people that can make it happen. They're the people that can sell you. It's in America.
But you're seeing it.
But not anymore.
You're seeing artists from other places. I mean, the Latin American community is taking shit over in the music industry, man. Latin American music, Latin American hip hop, Latin American pop. I mean, fucking, what was it? Despacito. That was the biggest song for a full year on its own.
And that's excellent because, man, a lot of these Hispanic artists want to work with the Arabs now because there are cultures, our sounds and instruments and music is similar. Something that really sits in the way, which we're trying to break now, and I see a lot of my contacts they're trying to break, is censorship is a big problem. You see, like one of our recent episodes got some backlash. It was a sensitive topic about Muslims versus Christians, being raised with a lot of censorship, a lot of double standards, not allowing certain music. A lot of music gets censored still in some places, or some shows when they're in Arabic and they say use vulgar language, or there's a lot of sexual content. It gets blocked or it gets shunned.
Mm.
Same goes for music, man. Like, if there's a lot of topic, and a lot of the Latin music touches upon these subjects and talk about, they have songs of sexual nature. I'm not saying not even talking about degrading women or anything like that. Like, just talking about anything that's mentioning any sort of flirtation or something like that. They'd be eager to work with a lot of these Arabic artists, but they don't produce the kind of music that the Latin artists are looking for, because there's that censorship, so they're not completely free in creating their music. Which is something that we're trying to do now with this new album, is being explicit and not caring about who cancels us. More about, because we're looking ahead, considering all these things. We're looking ahead, considering who we want to work with. What's our goal? We want to break through in the West. We want to break through, work with Latin artists.
Well, who's
so we have to do that.
Well, who's we? I know who we is, but maybe or have you told the audience already?
Yeah, me and Nairuz, and that's my artist Garasin, the duo. I manage
plug
them.
It, man. Plug it.
I'll plug it again. And I'm always open for more. We have a network of people that we collaborate with as well. That would be perfect. So our goal is always like, so we've already done Jordan. We've finished. Like, that's it. Like, you can always get more famous, but that scene, we got it covered there. The Middle Eastern scene as well, sort of. Egypt has a huge fan base. We have a huge fan base in Egypt. Our goal has always been going global and trying to get that sound, the Middle Eastern sound, to the global scale. So every step along the way that we have to take has to be with that in mind. And we can forget all the rules and censorship and cancellation and being scared of that in the Middle East, because we don't care about getting canceled there. We know the people that like that content there are going to follow anyway. We want to open it up to collaborations with people in the West, the Latin world, whatever. We're open to, that's what we're looking ahead to. And I say that to all artists, like any artist that feels like they don't have a freedom of expression, think about that. You want to be known globally, because the internet has connected us all, right?
Facts.
Think of it like with that in the back of your mind. If your town you're in doesn't like your music or hates what you stand for, fuck it. Like, they're not the person or the people you're making the music for, and that's not where you want to break through anyway. There's a whole other world out there that's dying to work with you. So that's my advice.
Jules.
I didn't think I would drop it at 11:45 p.m.
Jules. Gems for the kids at home, man. Gems for the kids at home, man. No, good.
I'm gonna probably clip this. That's good.
Yeah,
brought
man.
it out of me.
Yeah, man. We got through. We touched on good things.
Yeah. Look at this. We could get 2 episodes, and it's 2 hours almost. We're touching on 2 hours.
How do you know? Do you have like an outro, or what do you do? Or you fade it?
No, I just say, well, usually because I have a guest, and I'll say thank you, and but you're not a guest. You're like
I don't get a thank
host.
you. I don't get a thank you.
No, you're like a you're
fuck you. I normally I say thank you, but with you, I don't. So fuck you. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
No, I don't give a No.
No, because Oliver, you're gonna be on, because you're more of a co-host or host.
Oh no, we're doing this again. It was tricky with the organization. It would have been no problem if I didn't have this project that just came in where they're like, oh, we have a contest on Friday. It needs to be done. And I said, all right, you're paying me, so I guess.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
and we were going to go baback to the studio. No Corona stuff.
Yeah, man.
But I like the setup. Everybody likes the setup.
It worked. I mean, it worked. The recording went well. The audio's all there. We're good.
So we didn't do music reviews. So I want to tell you guys you can send your music in if you're an artist. Just comment. So we made a post on Instagram. If you comment on that or comment on any post, basically with your music, or send us a DM with your music or whatever, and we're gonna start selecting a couple that we really like and reviewing them. So you have a music video, even better. We'll react to that. And hopefully it'll help you out. And you'll help us make the show.
Thanks. Let's grow, man. Next time. I look forward to that.
Cool, man. Hey, thanks for coming on. Oliver is being plugged. Your name is there.
Thanks.
He's gonna be back. Thanks for coming on. Good night.